Let's go Ravens! The NFL draft is right around the corner, and with 11 picks in hand, the Baltimore Ravens are armed and ready to make some serious noise. The energy is electric behind the scenes, and I've got some major updates to break down with you today. We all know the Ravens have one goal in mind: reaching the Super Bowl. And to do that, John Harbaugh is going to need a roster stacked with both depth and talent. I'm going to walk you through one of the most compelling mock drafts we've seen this offseason, but before I dive in, make sure you've smashed that like button. If you're a Ravens fan who's been riding with this team for over 20 years, it's time to show it. If you're really one of us, comment down below. Go Ravens, my heart bleeds purple and black. Now let's get right into it. With the 27th pick in the first round, the Ravens could land a potential game changer on the defensive line, James Pierce Jr. out of the University of Tennessee. This is a name that keeps coming up in mock drafts for good reason. Pierce is a raw talent with sky-high upside, explosive off the edge, disruptive, and just the kind of presence you want to develop under a culture-rich franchise like Baltimore. Yes, there have been whispers about his character and questions about his love for the game, but here's the thing. This guy needs structure, leadership, and a winning environment to thrive, and the Ravens offer just that. Unlike franchises that struggle to maintain direction, Baltimore is a model of consistency. The front office reportedly took 15 prospects off the board due to red flags or failed physicals, but there's no strong indication Pierce is among them. If he falls to 27, the Ravens shouldn't think twice. Moving on to round 2, things get even more exciting. Baltimore could end up with Notre Dame cornerback Benjamin Morrison. Injuries limited him to just 6 games in 2024, but don't let that fool you. The potential is there. This is a player who might have gone in the first round had he stayed healthy. And let's be real, the Ravens' cornerback room is thin when it comes to starter-quality depth. Right now, Chidobe Awuzie could be starting alongside Nate Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey. Solid, but not ideal. Morrison could come in and instantly push for a starting job. He's smart, tough, and if given a full offseason to prep, he might be the surprise gem that elevates the entire secondary. In the third round, the offensive line finally gets addressed. Tate Ratledge from Georgia is the guy. And no, it's not just the mullet. This dude is the real deal. Baltimore's offensive line was shaky last season, especially at the guard positions. Daniel Falili and Andrew Voorhees both had moments, but neither locked down a spot. Ratledge is versatile and reliable, a plug-and-play lineman who could immediately stabilize the interior. With solid tackles and a center in place, the guard spots remain the question mark. Drafting Ratledge would bring much-needed confidence to the group protecting Lamar Jackson. Staying on offense, in the 4th round, the Ravens could snag Kyle Williams, wide receiver out of Washington State. This pick might just be the biggest steal of the entire draft. Some scouts have even ranked him as the second-best receiver in the class. With over 2,000 yards and 131 catches across the last 2 seasons, the production speaks for itself. He's not the biggest guy, but he's blazing fast, runs a 4.44 40, and has hands you can trust. With DeAndre Hopkins added to the mix alongside Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers, this receiver room is looking dangerous. But Hopkins won't be around forever, and Williams could be the perfect WR3 successor. Still in the 4th round, another defensive end joins the fray, Savion Jones from LSU. While his sack total in 2024 wasn't eye-popping, 4.5 sacks, he generated tons of pressure and has the physical tools to grow. His 10-yard split is elite, and his frame and explosiveness could make him a valuable rotational piece with upside. It's depth like this that turns good teams into great ones.
Now here's where things get spicy, a draft day trade. The Ravens, rich in late-round capital, move up in the 5th round by sending 3 picks, one at 76, 212, and 243, to the Minnesota Vikings. The target? R.J. Mickens, safety out of Clemson. This guy might challenge for a starting spot right away. Mickens is more of a coverage safety, which complements the physical, run-stopping style of Darius Washington perfectly. With a coverage grade of 89.8 in 2024 and a 24.1% forced incompletion rate, Mickens is the kind of third and long defender the Ravens sorely needed last season. Pair him with Kyle Hamilton, and the back end becomes a serious strength. Next up, we've got some beef in the trenches. Ty Robinson from Nebraska and Cameron Cam Jackson from Florida are selected back-to-back to fortify the defensive interior. With Michael Pierce retiring, the need for depth is real. Robinson tallied 42 pressures and 7 sacks last season from the inside. That's monstrous. Jackson, meanwhile, is more of a projection, but the potential is undeniable. If these two can develop and eat up space next to Justin Matabuik, suddenly the Ravens' front 5 looks fearsome again. And finally, in the 7th round, we round things out with wide receiver Andrew Armstrong from Arkansas. Despite playing with subpar quarterback play, Armstrong still racked up impressive yardage and showed he can make plays. He's a solid insurance policy in case of injuries and could be a sneaky good fit in this offense. So, Ravens fans, I want to hear from you. What do you think of this mock draft haul? James Pierce Jr., Benjamin Morrison, Tate Ratledge, Kyle Williams, Savion Jones, R.J. Mickens, Ty Robinson, Cam Jackson, Andrew Armstrong. How are you grading this potential draft class? Drop a letter grade in the comments below, A, B, C, D, or F. Let's talk about it. If you're still with me, then you know this mock draft isn't just about filling holes. It's about shaping the future of the franchise. And the second half of this draft strategy brings even more depth, calculated risks, and late-round value that could be absolute gold for the Baltimore Ravens. The war room might be full of tension during those late rounds, but if the front office can pull this off, we might be looking back on this draft as the foundation of a Super Bowl-caliber team. Let's dive into part 2 of this exclusive breakdown, but real quick, hit that like button if you believe the Ravens can dominate the AFC this season, and let me know in the comments, go Ravens, we can make the Super Bowl. Alright, let's talk about the 2 big men added late in the draft, Ty Robinson and Cam Jackson. These 2 picks are more than just backup plans. They are strategic moves to rebuild the defensive line's depth after the retirement of Michael Pierce, who was a massive anchor against the run and could surprisingly disrupt the pass game too. His presence will be missed, but the combination of Robinson and Jackson could help ease that loss. Ty Robinson from Nebraska brings incredible interior pressure. He posted 42 pressures and 7 sacks last season. That is rare production from a defensive tackle. He's big, strong, and relentless. This isn't just a depth pick, this is a guy who could push for meaningful snaps right away, especially if he continues to develop at this pace. He has the size and motor to be a serious rotational piece behind or even beside Justin Madubuike, who often faced double teams last season. If Robinson proves himself early, it could force opposing offenses to respect both sides of the line. Then there's Cam Jackson from Florida, a bit more of a developmental player but with all the physical traits you want in a high-upside nose tackle. The production wasn't as flashy as Robinson's, but the traits are there: size, length, and raw strength. Jackson is one of those picks where the coaching staff says, give us a year with him and we'll turn him into a beast. Considering Baltimore's track record of developing defensive linemen, it's a smart swing in the later rounds. And just when you think the Ravens are done, boom, they double dip at wide receiver, adding Andrew Armstrong out of Arkansas. This move might raise a few eyebrows because Kyle Williams was already added earlier, but it makes perfect sense when you break it down.